Since we've had to adjust the assignment a little to actually use Premiere Pro instead of iMovie, I have adjusted some of the expectations for grading as well as the instructions. So the instructions are a bit longer now because there are a few more steps with Adobe Premiere, but Adobe Premiere is pretty intuitive and nice and fun and easy to use, so I think you'll appreciate it. So when you first open Adobe, let's say you have already dragged all your pictures down here that you want in your thing. You have dragged them into the Google Drive and your AVP stuff folder, for 6 weeks stuff folder, MeetMeMinute. You've just dragged them all in there. I guess I can add those. And now you are ready to go. So you open Adobe Premiere Pro. You go File, New Project. That should let you open it. Or you should just have something on the desktop to let you open it. You call this MeetMeMinute. And I am going to not click OK because, as you can see, I already have this project open. But then you need to change your location. So you want your location to be in that same Google Drive folder where you've been saving everything. So Google Drive, AVP stuff, which you may have a shortcut over here, so that'd be even nicer. AVP stuff, first 6 weeks, MeetMeMinute, and just have it save in there. So you choose that. You'll click OK. I'm clicking Cancel. Okay, then you go to File, Import, and you want to import everything in that folder. So AVP stuff, first 6 weeks, MeetMeMinute, and you can just select the top one, hold down Shift, and select the bottom one. If you want to grab those extras, Command should do it, and then you can click Import. I may have already imported these, so I'm going to check my media browser. Okay, then I guess I'll go ahead and re-import File, because I didn't save because I wanted to do this for you. AVP stuff for 6 weeks, MeetMeMinute. I'm going to grab all of these down here and hold down Command and grab these. You can see there's my movie, which I got from Photo Booth, and I exported, put on the desktop, dragged it to MeetMeMinute. Okay, so now I have all my stuff that I need to work with, and the first thing you want to do is find your movie. You're going to drag that in. Okay, so here's my movie. It's 33 seconds. So it's called MeetMeMinute. I'm going to be flexible on the minute. It doesn't have to be a minute. I just think it's a cute title. And now you can see stuff has appeared over here. So I'm starting at the very beginning of the timeline, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I edit this before I add any B-roll. So this is my A-roll here. You can adjust how wide or thin it is, letting you work with it by clicking around at the bottom. You can also adjust how big or small these are by clicking around at the top. And as you can see, the bottom is audio, the top is video.
Hi, I'm your teacher, Camille Turner. A little about myself. I graduated from Mesquite ISD. I studied film production in college. I was even a legal deposition videographer and editor for a little while after that. I've taught in Mesquite for 11 years, mostly teaching at KEOM, the district's radio station. I have a husband and 2 daughters. My oldest is 5. My youngest is heading toward a year.
Okay, if you press spacebar, that starts and stops it.
My youngest is getting close.
I knew that I repeated that, that's why I stopped there. So I'm going to cut this. You cut with the razor tool because I'm going to cut out my repeat. So here's where I said the first thing about my baby daughter, I believe. And here's where I say the second. And I'm just going to trim these down until you can see the audio wave, so you can see where I'm talking down there.
2 daughters. My oldest is 5. My youngest is getting...
You can hear I repeated myself, so I need to fix that. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer, and I'm going to trim off the audio where I start to say my.
daughters. My oldest is 5. My youngest is getting close to being a year old. In my free time, I like to hike, run long-distance races, and hang out with my family.
Okay, I really should have smiled at the end, but you see how I fixed that. You just cut where the mistake is, and then you trim off the repeat. Okay, now it is ready to go, and I'm going to listen through, and as I talk about things, I'm going to put the picture on. I'm going to put it on. Okay, you can see there's multiple video tracks up here. This is video 2. I'm going to put it on video 3 so that I can add a layer in between, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
Hi, I'm your teacher, Camille Turner. A little about myself. I graduated from Mesquite ISD.
I'm talking about Mesquite ISD. Do I have anything about Mesquite ISD? Yes, I have the stadium picture. So I'm just going to put it up here. And you can see it's small. I fixed that by right-clicking and going scale to frame size. And yet you can still see me behind it. So I need to fix that by going down to this little dog-eared sheet of paper here and choosing color matte if I want to make a color, or black video if I just want to make black video. And now I have black behind it.
I studied film production in college. I was even a legal deposition videographer and editor for a little while after that.
Okay. I'm talking about college, so I'm just going to stretch this black video out to cover most of this, so I can just use the whole thing. Where do I start talking about college? I'm going to trim my picture.
In college.
Right here. So from high school to college, scroll up, find a college picture. Aha, there it is. It's not the greatest picture, but it's nice to have a picture that somebody else took. And scale to frame size.
I studied film production in college. I was even a legal deposition video.
Oh, I feel like that's running a little behind where I want it to be. So move this up a little bit. And I believe you can actually click this and delete it. Oh, only if there was no layers under it.
In college, I was even a legal deposition video.
Right here, I need to move to my legal deposition videographer picture. So I am going to find this one. And with every picture, it's probably not the frame size, so you just right-click, scale to frame size.
Legal deposition videographer and editor for a little while after that.
And I'm probably going to move on after that.
I've taught in Mesquite for 11 years.
Let's see, anything about Mesquite? I gotta have something about Mesquite, don't I? Well, if you don't have a picture to go with it, you don't want to leave it with your old B-roll picture. So what you're going to do is you're just going to come down here, cut the black, and move it over. So now you can see a little bit more of me.
I've taught in Mesquite for 11 years, mostly teaching at KEOM.
And here's where KEOM comes in, so I'll add the KEOM picture. And that looks like it's already the correct size, except Mr. Sid is cut off. So I'm going to scale to frame size right there so we can see Sid's face.
KEOM, the district's radio station. I have a husband and 2 daughters.
Oh, already on to the husband.
I have a
No. It started earlier. So you just listen to where it is and make sure the video is placed right over it.
Station. I have a husband and 2 daughters.
Okay. Where's a family picture of mine? Are you kidding me? I don't have a family picture. Okay, here's my family picture. And I'm going to scale that to frame size. So once you get the first one, everything else should flow pretty easy.
I have a husband and 2 daughters. My oldest is 5.
I'm going to zoom in on my oldest. That would be Javelin. Scale to frame size.
And 2 daughters.
Right when I say my oldest, I can flip to my oldest.
My oldest is 5. My youngest.
I'll trim that. My youngest, Sienna. Scale to frame size.
Is 5. My youngest is getting close to being a year old. In my free time, I like to hike.
Hiking picture. It's kind of nice right there, but I can just scale to frame size. See more of the layout.
Run long distance races.
And once you get to the end, you can start just moving the end of your video over. Run long distance races. I got to have something about the races right here. Make sure every time you're just clicking on the video that you want to change, and that's the one that's changing.
Run long distance races and hang out with my family.
Okay, I can actually leave it at that because that's a picture of both long distance races and hanging out with my family. And really, technically, it's good to end on some video of the person speaking again, so it's a reminder of who was speaking, because this is kind of awkward. But as you can see, I pointed out I didn't smile at the end, so I'm smiling right here. I like this. Just for a little bonus, I'm going to show you something. You don't need to do this, but if you'd like. I double-clicked on this. I'm going to Effect Controls. I want to maybe zoom at the end on my face. So I'm going to change the scale of the picture to zoom. So I'm clicking that. That means I'm going to make a change. I want it to stay the same right up there. So that's the placeholder keyframe, and here's the other keyframe where I'm going to move it.
And hang out with my family.
I'll move this over. I'll do the... Okay. And let's just, at this point, that selected keyframe, I'm going to change the scale. And as you can see, it's getting bigger. I might also want to change the position so it's moving down so we're still centered. But back here, I want the position to be the proper one, so I'm going to add a keyframe back here. Okay, I'm wasting time on the details. Okay, position stays the same. Position changes as the scale changes. Okay, I got 2 minutes left, so let's not worry about that.
Distance races and hang out with my family.
Did it not? Okay. 200. Position. And position, I'm going to move it down. Okay.
Long distance races and hang out with my family.
Yeah, that moved too fast, so I'm going to move the keyframes a little further apart so it looks less awkward.
Run long distance races and hang out with my family.
Okay, that's better. So, I'm finished. File, save. I've already told the project where to save. Now it's the job of exporting. You go to Export Media. And your format is going to be H.264. You're going to click this to change Meet Me Recording, and you're going to save it as your class period, your last name, your first initial, Meet Me Recording, and then did you wing it, bullet it, or script it? I scripted mine, so I'm going to type script. Okay, then you should just be able to hit export, well, save, export, and it will export it there. It's a real short, it's less than a minute, so it shouldn't take too long. From there you go find it,